The topic of healing is so interesting because one thing, when we think about what Jesus did on the cross, we know by his stripes we are healed. Such a statement is powerful. And one thing that I know for sure when I think about any miracle, the first miracle is the will of God, which is for us to know him. Right? The topic of healing, and it's something that God dealt me on, because just to even skim right to the point, when you look at Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego, when they were out there and being persecuted and asked to bow, they told him, listen, we're not gonna bow. Here's what's gonna happen. Our God is going to save us, and that'll be his will, or we're gonna die, and that'll still be his will. Something so interesting about that statement is their miracle was their faith and who they served. Their miracle wasn't based off the outcome of the circumstance. Regardless of what happened, the miracle was their security in who they served. That blessed me because I struggle with the whole idea of losing family, friends, anybody. Something that God would just, instead of addressing, like comforting me in a sense the way I wanted to, just to know, don't worry, I'm gonna take care of that person. Don't worry, I'm gonna heal that person. He simply just said, it's my will. Get comfortable with my will. You curse yourself when you don't want to trust God's will. It's his will. And there was a song, Thy Will Be Done. I had to keep playing that. It was his will. Even when I don't understand or like it, it's his will. It's his will, right? So what's so interesting about this is, what's God's will? To the root of it is that you know him. Is that you know him. You for yourself know who God is. Simple. And second, that you love others. Right? Just off the first step alone, just getting to know who God is alone, you get a certain security that's like no other. It's like, that alone, getting to know him, and that's such a process. It's not like a one-time thing. You're learning more sides of Jesus every day. You're learning more sides of who he is every day. Every day. What's so interesting about that statement, is if God saves us, it's his will. If we die, it's his will. I was driving and God had gave me a vision of the woman with the issue of blood, and she went to reach out for Jesus' garment. How number one, we get it, she wasn't supposed to be there, and she had this issue and it was not being cured by nobody. What stuck out was, she was at a place where it's like, listen, I have no way out. I know about you. I've heard about you. I don't care about nobody else right now. I'm focused on my healing. I'm gonna step out and reach out, and I just believe if I simply touch you, I'll get it. And as Jesus was walking, he said, it says he stopped, and he said, somebody touched me. Somebody touched me. I can feel the power come out of me. People looking at him like, yo, it's so many people here. Jesus, how he said, I can feel the power come out of me. What God just showed me in that whole illustration is Jesus was going somewhere. His intentions wasn't he was walking. He was going straight. His plan, his will was to keep going forward. He wasn't worried about nobody. He was going forward, but somebody stopped him. Somebody reached out and touched and tapped into his power because they believed he can heal them. So his will was to keep going forward. But because somebody stepped out and said, I can get healed because of you, he said, your faith healed you. Your faith did that. That's the will. My will is to keep going. But if somebody's going to step out and believe that I can do it, that's also my will. Because I said that, he said, because I'm going to be with the Father. You can ask for anything in my name and I will do it. But as amazing as that story is, we have to go back to the will and being secure in either one. If I go, to God be praised. if I stay. To God be praised. It doesn't matter what happens though. My security isn't in my health. My security isn't in my circumstance. My security is in I'm saved. I'm free already. He said, blessed. They're blessed. Absent from the body means present with the Lord. To God be the glory if I go. To God be the glory if I stay. It's His will though. My security is in my Father. My security is in our relationship. So my main focus is His will. If I have work to do on this earth, let me get it done. Let me do what I have to do. This body fading. We want to go home. I want to go home. But if you have work for me, Father, your will, let me do that. I remember one time I woke up and the enemy was just shooting all these thoughts in my minds of sicknesses and illness and diseases. And it's like the Holy Spirit kind of just intruded on me to not even entertain those thoughts. And it said, even if it was for the glory of God, so be it. Let it come. Sickness, diseases, illnesses, let it come. This body is fading. This body is temporary. Let it come. Even if it was for the glory of God. Not to simply be healed, but to simply walk around and show people even while I'm dying, I'm still happy. I'm still blessed. I'm still sound because He's good. And watch this. In the midst of my issues, I'm still going to serve Him. I'm still going to give Him glory. I'm still going to worship. My circumstance never determined my relationship with my Father. Never. It's His will. It's His will. If He decides to heal me, if He sees fit to heal me, to God be praised. And even if He doesn't, which we can't say because, again, this body is temporary. The healing took place while I was alive, when He was making me whole, when He was preparing me to come home. That's the miracle. We're going somewhere. Sometimes our focus is to stay here, but we're going somewhere. So in the meantime, let me worship. In the meantime, let me get my work done. It's His will if I stay. It's His will if I go. The security isn't in the blessing though. The security is in the relationship. So to anybody, I would, especially that is going through any sicknesses or illnesses, your security cannot be based off, what's going on, especially with this body. You can't. It'll change every 2 seconds then. Our security is in who we know. Thank God I'm saved. Thank God He saw mercy on me to lift the veil, to open my eyes, to work in my life so I can get ready to come home. In the meantime, while I'm here, sickness, disease, no matter what it is, I'm going to glorify God. I'm going to glorify God. And what's so special also to add, if I'm walking in my destiny with instructions for tomorrow just simply for next week, next month, whatever, if I know I have something to do, if I have instruction from God, I can walk anywhere, go anywhere, speak to anyone. I fear no man because I have instruction. So many people, they go places they're not supposed to go, and God is speaking to them in the meantime. Hey, don't go, don't move, don't do, don't speak. And we're disobedient. So when we land in situations where things come our way, we can't blame God. But I know there's times where God tells me, I want you to go here. It doesn't matter if a door is closed. I know God told me to go. That door is going to open some way, shape, or form. God said, I want you to do this during this day, but it seems like the weather doesn't permit. It doesn't matter. If I go, God's going to make a way. We have to walk in so much instruction. When we walk in instruction, things change. Things change. Things change. That's so serious, because we can't step out, we can't step out and then get upset when things happen. I want to be in tune with God. I want to walk with God. I want to be in His will. So no matter where I go, no matter what happens to me, when the evil world comes against me, I can hear His voice say, Albanere, don't go that way. Albanere, turn left, whatever it is, so I can stay protected. And even if I still went, I know I'm here by instruction because I have work to do. God won't lie. If He said I'm supposed to be somewhere, as long as I'm staying in line, I'll make it to there. I'll make it there. So also to the person who's sick and ill, the question is, did God give you an instruction? The question is, do you know you have an assignment that is not yet completed? And are you in tune with God during this time of instruction? Because you can get instruction, ignore it, and live your own way. I'm sorry, that's not what we're talking about. We're talking about somebody who's in tune with God. You have instruction, you have a destiny, you have a call, and it's a specific time. Friend, you're not going anywhere. Until God's will is done, you're not going anywhere. Stay encouraged. Stay encouraged. Move with your sickness. Move with your illness. You're not going nowhere until your mission is done. I want to be on my deathbed and I want to smile and say, y'all don't cry. Don't pray. I'm happy. I'm so in tune with God. I know it's my time. That's serious. I'm so in tune with him. He said, rest. You're done. I want to be that in tune with God. I don't want to have to live in fear like, oh, did I complete? But we have to walk with him. We have to walk with him. Rest in that. Rest in that. He can do anything. God can heal, but it's his will. It's our hearts have to be satisfied. I literally had to come to a moment where I actually spoke out loud and said, like it was pertaining to my mom. I said, God, if you were to call her home, I trust you. I still believe in you and I still love you. I can't sit here and, try to, it's whatever you want to do. I trust you. It's your will. Let your will be done. That's a powerful prayer. And it's in that. It's in that. It's beautiful. God is good.